My name is Tamara Steele. I'm the Executive Director of the Black Cultural Society of PEI. So, it's always a big deal deciding on the theme, and at BCS, we're working on how we can internally bridge spaces between communities and bring people close together, bring the Black people on PEI closer together in a way that allows us to celebrate our similarities, but also maintain and celebrate our differences in our cultures. And let's take this month to celebrate who we are as a community, which is what we always do in February, but let's really consider us as a community here in PEI and how we can be celebrating those histories as a way to be more informed and more understanding to one another, so we can build community together and develop community together. Black History Month is important because there are a lot of stories from the African diaspora that have been lost. We want to help ensure that those stories remain, those stories exist, that our histories continue to exist. Especially when we talk about here in PEI, we know there's not a lot of information about the bog. There's some, but there's not a lot. So how do we keep those stories alive? I think if we don't make the effort to do that, it's not going to get done. The stories of the oppressors are historically not told by the oppressor or from the side of the oppressor. So if we don't make it a point to do that, then it won't get done and our histories will be lost. Also thinking about our history so we can use that to inform where we go in the future is equally as important. That's a fair question, yeah. So we do have some events throughout the month that are registration or admissions is limited to the Black community only, but there are still lots of events that are open to the public, and everyone is welcome to those. So if you look at our list of events on our website, then it'll say right there in the description, this is open to the Black community only. So if it doesn't say that, you're free to attend. Everyone's welcome. Read more is my number one suggestion. There's a lot of literature out there and it's easy to find. And again, it's important that those stories get read and get learned and get shared. Yeah, if you're not a reader, look it up, find a video that'll tell you about it. Engage with community members. Feel free to talk to them. Make sure that if you're going to have these conversations, make sure that that person is comfortable with them, with having a conversation with you. Be genuine, be earnest, be sincere. And be open, be curious and be open to the knowledge you receive. It's really important how you approach that. And I know there's fear in the unknown and people are afraid to have those conversations because people don't want to come across as racist or as offensive. But again, be sincere, be open, openly curious, and be careful with the information that you're receiving. For one, it needs to be taught in schools. Black history curriculum is an issue. It's an issue that's being looked at in different pockets of the country, and it's a huge issue. We need to develop that Black history curriculum that is fulsome and covers the spectrum. And we need to understand, I think, that we existed before slavery. Black folks existed before slavery. So we need to be learning more about that, about what these communities were like before we were stolen and taken away. Another thing that I'd love to see community do is just really engaging more with us as an organization. There's also the Nigerian Canadian Association in PEI that you could engage with too to learn more about Nigerian culture. There's the PEI Museum and Heritage Foundation. I know is doing all the work that they can to preserve those histories. The problem is there's not a lot of it to preserve here. There's not a lot of it that's known to preserve here. So I think for the Black community, we need to come together and think about how we acknowledge that we today are someone else's history. We're the history of the future. So how do we let them know in the future that we were here today? So let's preserve our presence right now, and I think we need to come together and discuss how to do that, and we will talk a little bit about that later on in the month at the family meeting. So just engage and learn and read.